Hey, welcome back to EM Hypnosis. I'm Elenique Marie, and today I wanted to talk to you about what are we feeding our minds? It seems like today everybody's very concerned about the quality of the food that we eat and what's in the products that we are consuming, such as whether there's, fluoride in the toothpaste or fluoride in the water, whether things are GMO or non-GMO. And yet, even though people are so passionate about worrying about the quality of the food that we're ingesting, it doesn't seem like the same concern exists for the food that we're consuming with our minds. And that is the information that we receive either through social media, through movies, through music, even through the interactions that we have with other people that definitely are impacting uh, our lives and our mindset. And so today I just want to explore that a little bit with you about, how careful are we truly being with what we're feeding our minds? If you think about it, most of us spend hours in front of technology over the course of a day, and we're sort of consuming this at an alarming rate. It just keeps getting, it's like we get brain dumped with information, either through social media posts or through television and news and media in general, or even through the conversations that we're having with friends and family. And yet, are those things actually helpful to us? Are they healthy for us? And do they support us in our goals? And that's the question that I want to ask you today. It's a question I ask myself often. Because, as we've discussed in previous videos, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. It really doesn't. That's why when you go to a movie theater and you watch a movie and you get so wrapped up in it that you find yourself crying along with the main character, or you feel yourself with your heart rate elevated, or your hands start, sweating, which is an indicator that what the brain perceives through the eyes and through the senses becomes real for it to the degree where it creates a physiological response to those images and therefore become true for you in your body as real. And so, if we're surrounding ourselves with negative messaging in the form of movies that are elevating, our fear factor, I saw a movie that was being marketed about a pandemic during the pandemic, and I'm like, why would I want to watch a movie about a pandemic when I'm in an actual pandemic? Isn't there enough to be concerned about? And also with the news. The news is there, and it serves a purpose, and yet the news has become a money making business, and like all businesses, it works on revenue, and so they're making money the more you watch. And what makes us watch anything more than a concern for ourselves, a fear regarding something? And so if you really start to look at the news from a little bit of a distant point of view, you'll start to notice that it's all a lot of fearful topics, one weaving into the other, and maybe at the end you get some tiny silver lining about something. But other than that, it's just appealing to that ancient part of your mind that is there to protect you. And as soon as you hear something like, ooh, you need to be concerned about this, or that may happen there, people are dying, or the economy is tanking, your mind says, hey, pay attention. This could be important. This might be the difference between survival and not surviving. And so the news has an agenda. Social media has an agenda as well, because as we know, so much of the social media apps are collecting information about where you go and what you see and what you're interested in. And so, of course, you're receiving information that's tailored to your interests, which is good and bad, because if you have shown a predisposition towards information that is, makes you nervous, makes you anxious, you're going to keep getting more and more of that. And so I just want to make this quick video because I think it's important that we own the fact that our mind, in a large extent, is creating our body. Like we've just discussed, receiving information and processing information that makes us anxious, even if it's just in a movie, does in fact have an effect on the physical body. And so imagine what happens to the physical body, what kind of stress and cortisol is being accumulated in there when all we're feeding ourselves is things that are sort of against our goals. And what is our goal? Well, if the goal is peace or happiness or ease or joy, then we need to pick programming that supports those goals. We need to pick people that support those goals and conversations that support those goals. Because if we don't, we're at war with ourselves. We say we want to feel a certain way, and yet we're choosing to look at things and talk to people and reaffirm to ourselves things that are actually contradicting that. And once we have a belief system in that subconscious, it doesn't matter how many times you say from your conscious mind that you want things to be different, it's going to default to what's been programmed in. And programming of the mind begins with repetition. So what you watch, what you listen to, and what you do becomes your belief, becomes what you do and who you are. And so I just want to invite you to ask yourself, am I really being careful about the things that I do with my time, the things that I'm watching, the things that I'm saying? What kind of expressions am I using? Am I supporting my well-being and my happiness and my joy? And this is another wonderful aspect of, the mind, the subconscious, that we can help to change those beliefs. Hypnosis is one way, and just being mindful is another. And the best suggestion that I can give is watch what you're consuming with your mind. And when you catch yourself in your day-to-day affirming things that are not what you really want, catch yourself in it and say, oh, I'm doing that again. And then correct it. Tell yourself, no, I am safe. I am abundant. And connect with that feeling. Drop into your heart and truly feel what it would feel like to feel peace, to feel abundance, to feel joy, to feel love. Step into that feeling and allow it to sort of permeate every inch of your body so that you can truly experience it and believe it and know that that is what you deserve. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is a real honor and a pleasure to share this time in this space with you. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It is so exciting to see the community that is being built around these topics, and I really welcome your comments. They really enrich this forum. So I hope that you're well wherever you are.